Hello everybody and welcome back to the Tabletop Temple, where we paint, we play, and we pray to the dice gods. I am going to be starting a new video series where I am painting the miniatures from the board game Stonesaga, and I am starting with Behemoth number 3. I don't know why it's called Behemoth number 3. For those of you that do, don't spoil it in the comments, please. I'm going to find that out on my own. You're probably wondering to yourself, though, how did I get the dome off of its back? Well, what I ended up doing was applying a heat gun little by little on a high setting, and then I would just travel it back and forth, and then I would just kind of wiggle the dome until it was loose enough to where it would just pop off. I'm sorry I didn't record that, but that is what I found the best method, at least for me, to use. But if you have a better method with maybe some like glue dissolvents, go ahead and leave it in the comments below. But without further ado, let's get into the paint. Now, as far as the speed paint goes, this is actually going to be a very, very quick video because it only uses a couple of colors. The first one I'm going with is for the rocky terrain that is on his back, and good old Gravelord Grey has never let me down yet. So apply that to the entirety of the inside of its dome. So while this part of the video is playing, I figured I would give just a little bit of insight as to what Stonesaga is, kind of sum it up in a bit of a nutshell. It was designed by Max Brook and Luke Eddy and then published by Open Owl Studios, who I truly want to thank for sending me a copy of this game to show off to you guys. But in a nutshell, what Stonesaga is, it's a cooperative campaign-driven game where players make choices and survival efforts permanently reshape this big world that you're trying to discover and unlock all its mysteries. That's pretty much what it is in a nutshell. I don't want to spoil anything, at the very least until I do a live playthrough of the game itself. But truly, Max, Luke, Brennan, thank you guys so much for sending me a copy of this game. I just truly cannot thank y'all enough. But let's move on to the next color. Next color is going to be for, I guess you can call it his face, his orb, maybe it's like some sort of spirit thing, but the color I decided to go with is Occultist Cloak. I didn't want it to be full on black. I wanted it to be more of a very, very dark gray. And as you can see, I'm going over focusing more on the recesses around the little spirit of his eyes, but I'm also wiping the very top with my finger, like the little tribal spirit looking things on its face. Reason I'm doing that is because I'm going to be cleaning it up with my white, and it just makes it a little bit easier. So yeah, Occultist Cloak, that's the next color I went with. On to the next one. Going back to Gravelord Grey, this is very simple. It's for the stone structure that he is standing on. I can truly attest to using Gravelord Grey for stone. It's I know my light is very bright, but when you look at it and use it in person, I truly think no other speed paint comes even close to Gravelord Grey. It's truly an amazing color to use for stones, rocks, gravestones, graveyards. Sometimes if you don't want to paint a straight metallic color, you can also use Gravelord Grey for some metal weapons. Especially if you don't want the metal to be that shiny. So yeah, Gravelord Grey. I praise it, and I will continue to praise it. Now, the final color I'm going to be using is Blinding Light, and this is going to be for the little spirit eyes on the orb after the Occultist Cloak dries, and also after you clean it up with a little bit of white. And you can use any white, it doesn't really matter. But there's two ways that you can handle Blinding Light. You can apply it directly from the bottle and it looks fine. But if you want more of the white to shine through, thin it down with about a 2, I'd say between a 2-to-1 to 3-to-1 ratio, and dilute it down with a little bit of water that way. And if that will cause more of the light to shine through. So in this case, I went with a 2-to-1. I still wanted a little bit of shading to be on the fur, but I wanted more of that white to shine through. So yes, Blinding Light is the color to apply to its fur. So after taking a look at the artwork, underneath the dome, it kind of looks like there's a bit of maybe like a blizzard going on under there. And these things are supposed to be really massive creatures. So it would probably come to no surprise that that's exactly what's going on here. Maybe some things are living inside that dome. And maybe it's snowing. I don't know. Imagination can go anywhere. But go ahead and apply some basing glue to all of the peaks on the rocks, and then sprinkle on some basing snow to make it look like it's snowing there. I think it adds a really cool, nice touch instead of just making it, you know, the same color as the Blinding Light. It really, in my opinion, brings the miniature to life. So that's the final touch I decided to go with. Now, I haven't decided if I'm going to glue the dome back on or not, because you never know, I may need to make corrections to the inside of the dome, but that is all it takes to paint Behemoth number 3 from Stonesaga. So thank you for watching, everybody. That's it for today's video. If you liked the video, please drop a like on it. Leave a comment on which Behemoth you think I ought to do next. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. But as always, I am your friendly neighborhood guru, and I will see you on the next Tabletop Temple. Goodbye, my friends.